There is a term that has become popular in the workplace over the past few years. It's called quiet quitting. This is when someone doesn't actually resign from their job, but they stop putting in extra effort. They just do the bare minimum and move on. Some people believe something very similar is happening in the smartphone industry, especially with Samsung's latest flagship lineup. According to many critics, and the Samsung Galaxy S26 Plus feel like products that exist mainly for one reason: to make the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra look like the only real flagship worth buying. That might sound harsh, but when you look at the differences between these phones, the argument starts to make sense. Samsung's Ultra models have become incredibly powerful and feature-packed over the years. The S26 Ultra, for example, continues that tradition with high-end cameras, premium hardware, and powerful performance. Even though it isn't dramatically different from the previous generation, it still feels like a true flagship device, and the market seems to agree. Early reports suggest that the Galaxy S26 Ultra is getting very strong pre-orders and sales. Many buyers appear to be choosing the Ultra model because it offers the most complete experience. But the story becomes very different when you look at the standard Galaxy S26 models. The regular Galaxy S26 still supports 25-watt charging, which feels surprisingly slow for a modern flagship phone. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S26 Ultra has pushed charging speeds up to around 60 watts. That's a massive difference within the same lineup. When a premium brand releases 3 flagship models, many customers expect a certain level of feature balance across them. Usually, the more expensive phone adds extra capabilities, but the core experience should still feel similar. However, in this case, the gap between the Ultra and the other models seems wider than ever. Features that people expected to trickle down from the Ultra, like improved camera systems, special display coatings, and bigger design upgrades, are missing from the Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus. As a result, the two smaller models can feel more like placeholders than true flagship devices. And this creates an interesting cycle. Consumers look at the lineup and see that the Ultra offers much more value in terms of features and innovation, so they decide to buy the Ultra. Samsung then sees strong sales for the Ultra model and continues focusing most of its innovation on that device. Meanwhile, the standard models receive fewer improvements, which makes them even less attractive the following year. Over time, this creates a situation where the Ultra becomes the only model that really matters. Interestingly, another major smartphone company has taken a different approach. Apple used to reserve many advanced features only for its most expensive phones. But in recent years, the company has started bringing more high-end features to its regular models. For example, the Apple iPhone 17 reportedly received a 48-megapixel main camera, similar to the one used in the Apple iPhone 17 Pro and Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max. Apple also added features like promotion display technology, faster processors, and increased storage compared to previous versions. Because of these upgrades, the standard iPhone 17 became far more competitive with the Pro models. This strategy has helped Apple make its base iPhone much more appealing, which is one reason analysts expect it to become one of the best-selling smartphones of 2026. Samsung, on the other hand, seems to be going in the opposite direction by widening the gap between its flagship tiers. For some people, this may not matter much. If you simply want a reliable Samsung phone that works well for everyday tasks like messaging, browsing, and watching videos, the Galaxy S26 or S26 Plus will still perform perfectly fine. They are still powerful devices with premium build quality and modern features. But when you compare their value to other phones in the market, things start to look different. Samsung's own Galaxy A series mid-range phones are becoming more capable every year. In some cases, these phones can deliver a similar overall experience for a much lower price. Of course, they may not have the same performance levels or premium materials, and they might miss some advanced features like Galaxy AI tools. But for many users, the difference in real-world usage might not be dramatic enough to justify paying flagship prices. Because of that, some people believe the best strategy as a consumer is simple: vote with your wallet. If customers continue buying the Ultra model while ignoring the standard versions, Samsung might eventually rethink its strategy. Until then, the Galaxy S lineup may continue to revolve around one clear star: the Ultra.